All right. I want to explain about this investigative task. You should have this paper. So locate this paper. It should say Chapter 23 SAT Performance. Then you also have a data sheet that has, it says AP Statistics, it says SAT data, and it should be two-sided. I believe it's two-sided. I don't think I gave you two separate papers. So you need to locate that. Once you do, and I'm going to include copies on the notes in case for some chance, if you've lost them, although how could you? You haven't taken them anywhere. So I just want to go over the directions. So notice it says this is the first of two related tasks. The next one is going to come in Chapter 25. In these tasks, you will investigate 4 questions about students' SAT scores at one high school. Now, in this Chapter 23, you are only doing numbers 1 and 2. When you do the Chapter 25 task, you will be looking at questions 3 and 4. So for all intents and purposes right now, you are not doing these two at all. And that always brings some confusion, so I wanted to make sure I went over that. So this is what you are going to be looking at. The question is what is the mean SAT math score at this high school? And the next one is, how do these students' SAT math scores stack up against the rest of the state? So this is, you have a copy of data from the SAT score roster sent to the high school by the College Board. It shows gender, verbal scores, and math scores for 303 students in a recent graduating class. So they've given you some information there. They're telling you that in is 303 students. They're telling you that you have some verbal scores and math scores, and we know the gender, so we have all this information. Note, you will not use all of these data, just a sample of 20 to 30 students. You are going to draw a random sample, and you're going to have to describe to me how you did that random sample. You've got all of this data. There's a total of, 303 students represented here. So you have to figure out a good way to come up with a random sample. You could number them all if you want to and select your random sample. If you wanted to block by gender so that you could guarantee you had some males and some females, you don't have to do that. But as a matter of fact, maybe I shouldn't have even said that because that might complicate the issue more than we want to. So let's just do if you did a simple random sample, but make sure you explain how you're going to do that. Now, think about why they told you to do 20 to 30 students. Look at the population. The population is 303. So when you're talking about what, some of the conditions for inference, yeah, think about that. So here is your current assignment. You are investigating just these first 2 questions. First, you're going to draw a sample of these students, a sample of 20 to 30, and you are going to carefully explain your procedure. Then you are going to use your sample to create a 95% confidence interval for the mean SAT math score at this high school, just the math score. Then based on your confidence interval, you're going to compare the performance of these students with the statewide mean math score of 503. Notice it says, based on your confidence interval. Okay, so you're going to use your confidence interval to make this statement. Then you're going to prepare a written report that includes complete demonstrations of the statistical procedures you use and your conclusions in context, of course. As far as the complete written report, I just want to see good communication, really. You don't have to do a formal report. I want good communication on this process. I want you to convince me that you know all of the things that you would need to include to show that you can do inference on that. So this one just dealing with a confidence interval. So that's your task. This task is actually going to be due on Tuesday after your spring break. But then on the group quiz that I have also assigned today, that is due on Friday, like tomorrow. So you only have that one day to do that. So even though we're not having new lessons on that Friday, you still need to make sure that you have turned in that Chapter 23 group quiz to me. But this one, you have a little bit more time. Although if you want to get it done, hey, that's fine too. All right, thanks. Bye.